Hello, how are you?
I'm great, good to see you again.
Good to see you.
So Sarah, this is a big day for you, of course. You already have faced a lot of hostility from those people you're going to work with, against whom you are. How are you going to deal with that?
Well, I'm used to working with people who I disagree with, on some pretty fundamental issues, including people who have voted against LGBTQ rights. But the reality is, in a diverse, pluralistic democracy, we have to work across disagreement. And we have to be willing to build coalitions and work with people who we may disagree with on every other issue but the one right before us. That's what I've done in the Delaware General Assembly, where nearly every bill that I introduced and passed with bipartisan support. And it's what I continue to plan to do here in Congress. Now, there are a handful of members of the Republican caucus who won't work with any Democrat and can barely work with their own Republican colleagues. And while they're off trying to grandstand and grab attention, I'll be here ready to work with anyone who's ready to be serious and ready to work with me to better the lives of our constituents.
You're also one of the youngest congresswomen. Which topics matter most for your generation?
Sure. Well, first off, I think young people, like people of every age right now, are facing a cost of living that is simply too high. And for so many young people, they are increasingly seeing the American dream, this American dream that they grew up hoping to achieve, this American dream that they grew up being promised was available to them, that it's become inaccessible and unaffordable. And for me, some of the top priorities I have here are bringing down the costs of housing, childcare, and healthcare. And those first two in particular are so critical for younger people, because being able to start a family, and that means being able to afford to start a family, including being able to afford childcare and being able to buy a home, those are two central pillars to the American dream. And right now, we have a childcare system that is simply too costly and too inaccessible for many families, and we've got a housing supply crisis and a housing cost crisis that we need to address. And so I look forward to working on those issues as well as others to really guarantee that American dream is truly affordable and accessible for everyone, including young people.
I think many people in the United States, but also, of course, around the world, see the Republican Party and the Republican Congress people as a monolithic kind of group. They seem to be much more divided. What does this mean for your work? Does it help you to find compromises?
Well, I think there is certainly diversity of thought in the Republican conference, within the Republican Party writ large. I think we see it right now with the speaker vote up in the air. We've seen it over the last couple of years on social media as there have been disagreements within the MAGA coalition itself on issues around immigration. And so there's clearly a range of thought within the Republican Party, and I think that certainly increases the chance that there will be Republicans who will still be of the mind that bipartisan solutions are more durable solutions. I think over the last 2 years, we've seen, because of the slim Republican majority, the Speaker and Republican leadership having to come to the Democratic caucus to keep the lights on. And with an even smaller majority, I anticipate that we'll continue to see the serious folks in the Republican caucus joining with Democrats in order to guarantee that the federal government continues to move forward.
I saw many people from the trans community in front of your sign, because everybody's allowed to come in here after security check. Just for our international audience, they might not know. How do you feel about that, being the first trans congressperson?
Well, first off, I'm incredibly grateful to Delawareans for entrusting me with the responsibility and the honor of representing them. And I think the election results and the fact that this day is happening is a testament to the fair-mindedness of Delawareans who are choosing candidates based on their ideas and not their identities. I know how much it would have meant to me as a young person to see someone like me, to see a trans person get elected to public office, let alone get elected to the United States House of Representatives. But I didn't run to be a first. I didn't run to make history. I ran to make historic progress for Delaware and for this country. And I know that the only way that I can guarantee that while I may be a first, I'm not the last, is to quite simply be the best member of Congress I can be.
Sarah McBride, thank you so much and good luck.
Thank you so much for joining us.